Hello, hey now. We are live right now, and that is Public Square. This is a Get Real podcast.
Get Real podcast.
With, of course, Josh Kirnie and myself here. We're talking about the stress during the holidays, right, Josh?
That's right. Being able to confront your stress in the holidays and having fun and looking forward to the things that make you happy instead of the stress. So it won't be, this is a quick, short, fun burst of message. We'll probably goof around a little bit too.
Right. A little bit. So, and let me just ask you, we've kind of gotten off the beaten path right from the beginning when we started this last spring. But what are people saying about the Get Real podcast?
Well, they're saying good things. We're catering more and more every podcast to our audience, and the audience that we desire are people that are serious about change and want a better life and have fun making a better life, and people that also want to lose weight and feel safe losing weight and being vulnerable enough to make the change and admit to making change. So it's funny, every week we kind of cut away some of the followers that we had that didn't fit in that cross section, and that's okay. Those people came naturally, and for a long time we ignored our social media.
You had to cut them out, like no more.
Well, they actually cut themselves out. So,
okay, gotcha.
And then more and more we're getting people that are more familiar with the process we use and have the desires that we look for.
Well, very cool.
It is cool.
So what are people typically stressful about? I mean, I can tell you all the things that people are stressful about these days. The supply chain is on everyone's mind. Will they get that special robotic device for their kid or video game that's sitting in the ocean right now? Another is, this is the time of year, Josh, and again, not to be depressing, but, suicide rates are high this time of year, too, during Christmas
Well, that's
season.
not in our scope of practice, and I do wish that there was zero.
Right.
And I would like to help anyone out that, feels the stress from somebody else in their life in that position. But it's important to note that we do have a scope of practice, and me personally, as the director and as also the head trainer in New York State, we do teach people to handle those situations from the outside.
Well, I mean, and I think a lot of it has to do, it's the end of the year, the weather has changed, summer's long gone, and you tell me, with your, vast experience, are people more inclined to be, I guess you could say, on a lower level in terms of their esteem and their everything because of the lack of daylight? Does daylight have a lot to do with it? Because the days are so short.
So that would be a question for somebody in a different. Now, I can say that you're definitely drawing the right conclusion there.
Yeah.
I just don't know why or how.
Well, I mean, do people have a tendency to call you up, or do you notice like an uptick of people calling in at this time of year after daylight savings, in the summer, in the winter months,
For certain stress-related issues, yeah.
So,
yeah,
and-
definite uptick.
So what is the I guess you could say the number one stress level this time of year from your experience?
Well, I mean, people have all kinds of compulsions that aren't like the people with the really fringe compulsions tend to call between Thanksgiving and New Year's.
Isn't that something? Interesting.
So it's a weird pattern. I get a lot of people with migraines and nail biters. I got some trichotillomania this week. That's diagnosed by a medical professional, trichotillomania.
So does it continue, for instance, like because, obviously up here we have a lot of snow. Syracuse gets a lot of snow. Does it get worse in January and February, Josh?
January and February are actually so busy that I don't remember going home from work and getting
Isn't
up the
that
next
something?
morning.
So, okay, so are we on to something here? Are more people inclined? You know how people sign up to go to Planet Fitness in January, and by January 3rd, they're not doing it anymore. So are more people say, I'm going to take care of myself starting January because I have so many issues. I'm going to speak to Josh. Does it work like that?
So, I mean, I'd only be speculating, but it seems to me after all these years that it seems like people want to do it themselves and they want to get off on the good foot. And you should always, I mean, you don't need a calendar to get off on the good foot.
That's a good point.
You can decide to make the change. And it's just more people use the calendar to do that. But you can decide to make the change instantly just by listening to us talk and knowing that there's hope and there's actually just a bounty of good feelings on the other end of making the change, on the other side of the change. But it is true, though, Glenn. You're right. It's like people try to do it themselves, and then they fall off, and then they'll try one more time.
Right.
And then the people that are serious will ask for help. They'll ask for help losing weight and getting motivated to exercise and building the body that they want to make.
So
That's true.
I've been in your office. I've talked to your clients, and I know the whole aspect of lying down and being relaxed and so forth. That is the soothing effort or process rather to get people back on track again. So do you step that up for this time of year? Or is it just same as before?
Well, it's a different angle because they're asking for different things, but I try to have them take it seriously for a moment and not so seriously so they can take the pressure off and feel comfortable with the change. Mm-hmm. The change of course, finding a different way to feel rather than stressed. Remember, in one sense or another, everybody's family is a bit crazy.
Yeah.
And all bets are off when you're really intimate with people, and I actually take it as a sign of respect when people have enough trust in me that I'm close to that will, now, of course, I'd rather they didn't do it, but of course that they'll feel safe enough with me that they can let loose and
they can confide. They can confide with you about their issues,
and they can allow themselves to act a certain way that they wouldn't around other people in public.
Interesting.
So that's actually like an intimate thing. But of course, it's not fun when you have a group of people that feel that safe, and then all of a sudden there's blood on the walls.
I don't.
And that's
get
just
that.
figuratively.
Yeah. I understand that. So what do you mean by that? I mean figuratively.
Well, everybody harbors a certain sense of resentment of anything that happened when they were young. And remember, the way that they handle situations when they're young, generally speaking, dictates how they're going to handle it when they're older and in professional situations. That's why we do so much corporate training, because, of course, your corporation that you work for, your job isn't your family, but yet your mind is attributing those aspects of behavior to, it'll keep applying those aspects of behavior to each situation you're in to get a result. So that's what you want to refine. And when we work with big group politics and big group situations, or even medium-sized groups, that's what we focus on the most, and being able to see those connections, which is fun. Now, corporate training, Glenn, is really fun too. It's also more a different kind of challenge, and we do at this time of year we're starting more and more corporate events. We have a big event coming up in April as well.
Where locally or somewhere, Kansas City, or both?
Right, in Kansas City, but half the people attending will be from upstate New York. It just happens to be in the middle of the country.
I don't. Okay, so you have a seminar for a corporate seminar in Kansas City, and yet people from around here will be attending that? That's interesting.
The people that are invited to attend it, for the most part, almost all of them, the people that are invited to attend have already been through part of the hypnotic process. So I trust them and the results that they're going to get, and they love the process by then. And I only accept people in that are going to have a great time. So we're looking at about between 40 and 60 people, maybe even a few more, in that seminar in April.
So let me just throw this out there. Is it like a Tony Robbins, where it's like, power of the mind? And I mean, you get on the stage with the wireless microphone and you start using obscenity. So he uses the F-bomb more than Andrew Dice Clay did.
The thing is that he creates, he kind of recycles his attendees by them not achieving a certain amount of permanent change. So it's a different situation in that what we're looking for is people that are ready to make permanent change in a group and be able to notice that there's even more there for them than they ever imagined. Mm-hmm. And we do close that change off and move them forward into the future with new resources, with new behaviors, as with other people. And I don't want to name anyone specifically, but what they do is they sit you down, they make you feel really, really good, and you feel good for about 3 days afterwards, and then you just go back to what you were doing before. That's a different part of the industry. That's not what we do.
So you're saying, as far as what Tony does and others, it's short-lived. Everyone feels, rah, 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 I just came from Florida. I spent $3,000 for a seminar, and I feel good. 3 days later, they're not playing with their toy they just got for Christmas.
Right.
Same scenario.
So it's actually more like $10,000.
Is it really?
Yeah. He actually, one time, I heard this story from a trainer that I worked for before I met Scott, and before I was in the MHS. A trainer from the West Coast went to one of his seminars at LA Coliseum. He filled the LA Coliseum.
Amazing.
Every seat cost
like Billy Graham.
Yeah, every seat cost $10,000.
Oh, come on.
No jokes.
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute. The Coliseum, that's where they played. That's where the Olympics, that's where the Rams used to play. That's like 100,000 people.
The Trojans play.
So some guy like a half a mile away, and they're looking at this little dot on the field, and
well,
it's Tony Robbins' head.
They probably
see his teeth.
Right. They probably have big screens up.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the whole reason is that I want you to empower yourself, because this whole fucking world.
When I saw him online for the first time, because I used to see him with Fran Tarkenton back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And they did infomercials. Remember that? Fran Tarkenton was like, you don't remember that?
I know what Fran Tarkenton is.
Yeah, Fran Tarkenton was like his he's it's like he
The
was
original scrambler.
The original scrambler. Well, they didn't have an offense back under Grant there, but at the same time, it's he retired, and then he got into this whole Tony Robbins things in these late night infomercials. We didn't call them infomercials at the time, but that's what they became. And but I figured this guy is on. There's a lot of guys that have come and gone, and yet when I saw him on the stage, boy, he uses throws the F-bomb out there quite a bit, but he's very popular. So I can't,
Well, that's the easiest way to create. One of the easiest ways to create trust in a group.
What, by using the F-bomb?
What you do is, the point is that you can't start, though. Somebody else has to use it first. And then also it's a good release of frustration and anger.
It
so
is.
He might be doing that too.
Yeah.
So
the F-bomb is an inflection that does carry its weight, but you can't use it too often. Go ahead, sorry.
So we don't do much F-bombing.
No. Nah.
I mean, there are people that will F-bomb in the audience, and you just got to do whatever the audience needs.
Right.
That communication structure.
Well, I mean, just as a footnote, because, this one guy said, he was talking about his ex-girlfriend. Long story short, he said,
What do you want to tell your ex-girlfriend?
and then the whole crowd got into it. You're this, you're that, you're the worst person. Get him out of your life. That doesn't happen at a seminar for Josh Kirnie. does it not?
No. We don't do it that angle at all, ever.
That seems
We
to be
treat
like
people as
that's like
equals.
revenge porn in a way, like getting down on your ex,
Which is also illegal.
which is very illegal, and well, it should be.
So, those things, we're actually getting, there's a means to an end. So we're actually getting to a place where you can acknowledge and know that you've made serious, permanent change in your life, found flexibility, new ways to feel, knowing that you have control over your internal state and how you respond to things, and finding new pathways to have relationships that are more beneficial to you and the other person. And that's really what happens in each of our seminars. So
Interesting. So are you excited about the seminar out in
I
Kansas
am.
City? That's
I'm very excited. And I've actually been, grooming people that I would like to be in attendance, because I know how they'll interact with each other, even though they haven't met each other yet. I have a good idea.
If you don't mind me, will Cameron be there as well?
Cameron will be there.
Okay,
yeah.
good. So he's going to learn from you, and you learn from the master. And that's how the whole hypnosis society works, right? One teaches the other. Like, he is Cameron your grasshopper from Kung Fu?
Well, he's definitely my student.
Tis wise grasshopper.
And the thing is, when it comes to having students, and I have somebody who's shadowing me quite regularly in our East Syracuse clinic now, who is going to be a clinician, is that they have to understand that I'm highly selective in taking in mentorees. So mentorship students take up a lot of my time.
Sure.
And if I had 40 excellent candidates, I would run 40 a year.
Wow.
And right now I have diehard 6 students that learn through me through various means of the way that we run the mentorship program. But it's not for the faint of heart.
No,
and
you
it's
got
not for half
not at all.
steppers. There's no half measures. And if people aren't ready for it, I totally respect that.
Well, yeah, it's like anything else. So at the corporate seminar, what is the underlying? What do corporations look for to motivate? Is it a motivational thing? What are they looking for to help and assist their employees?
It's all of the above. So it's being able to connect to people, treat people the right way, work as a team, work independently, work in management situations, and the ability to connect and drop behaviors that were limiting beliefs and behaviors, and all of the above.
But it's not part of the whole woke community that you can't do this. CRT is important. You can't do any of that type of stuff, right?
No, I don't want to get too far into it.
No,
but
I know, but that's such a hot.
Pretty
bed.
much the opposite.
Yeah, okay.
So I was talking to Jackie, and I wish Jackie was here now, because I gave her a snippet. She asked me a question about something, and we talked about legacies and demographics that we attract in our industry, and it's different in different states and different regions, right?
Sure.
So it just kind of moves. It's free flowing, and it's always evolving, whether quickly or slowly. And I was talking about diversity, and I said diversity doesn't come from physical attributes. The diversity we're looking for is values, attitudes, and beliefs in different stages of maturity, which is just growing, different growth stages, and the strategies and the internal step-by-step processes people use and they can bring to the table that other people could use too. And that's the real diversity that we're looking for. So it doesn't really matter how you look. It matters how you think and act and behave and take things in.
It was what was this? Lamas Jr., not his father. Now I'm forgetting his first name, but he said something very famous.
Lorenzo Lamas?
Lorenzo Lamas' dad. I think he was junior, whatever. Senior was on the Johnny Carson show years ago.
I didn't even know he had a famous dad.
Yeah, famous, good-looking guy, just like he. And he said just charismatic, perfect tan, kind of like a Jose Romero-looking guy who played the Joker, by the way, in the original Batman. But anyway, one of those Latino guys, bigger than life. And he was talking about he had health issues on the Johnny Carson show, the Tonight Show. And but he said it's better, to look good than to feel good. There's nothing worse than a day when you feel pain. That could be a headache, it could be a toothache, it could be a cramp in your leg, whichever. Pain sucks. But there are people out there, especially there are vain enough that are more involved in their vanity and how they look as opposed to how they feel. That's just awful.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's awful if it's a big picture, but also there's certain specific times will call for it too.
Yeah, but your health is everything. And you know what? I agree with you too. When I was young, I said, I agree with him. What's wrong with that? Everyone wants to look good. Everyone wants to be attractive. That's like something that people truly, truly want. I don't care what part of the world you're at. You want to be attracted to other, you want to be that person. And so kids at an early age know how much stress is on them to stand out and
Well, yeah, she had to
look
watch
good.
somebody do it too, because that's a learned behavior.
So at the end of the day, it's the holiday season, and you want people obviously to reach out to you because people are feeling the pain, and this year especially because of all the other stuff that's the external stuff that we're experiencing too in this allegedly post-COVID era, although it's not post at all with the new Omicron variant. So that gets to people, Josh.
So the thing is that.
Wait, real quick. Is Omicron the next letter in the Greek alphabet after D, or am I missing something here?
They skipped one. They skipped one because there's a reason.
Beta, theta, data?
I don't remember, but I read an article that they skipped one of the letters because it was going to offend somebody.
Really?
The thing, I don't pay attention to that stuff, so it doesn't affect my life as much. I mean, I honestly don't have any time. Like right now, it's like Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day in the family. Michelle's going through Groundhog Day with teaching the kids. They're homeschooled and they're about to start attending private school here soon.
I didn't know your kids were homeschooled.
Well, the bottom three.
The bottom three. Okay, gotcha.
And
Hunter's going to be the next Lawrence. He's looking like him already.
He works out he works really hard. So I don't know. I think that he'll be able to touch 90 off the mound by April. He learned a curveball because someone told him he wouldn't be able to do it. So when he was like 14. And then he found a kid that was once an ace on our his name, the kid's name is, he's a very good pitcher, and he taught Hunter how to throw a curveball.
Wow.
So he's got those pitches, and they're going to need it because they're playing AA ball. Luckily, we've got some high-end talent on the team that are seniors this year.
So, John, as you know, John Elway, a very famous Hall of Fame quarterback for obvious reasons, one of the greatest of all time, was a baseball player and, in fact, played for the Oneonta Yankees. I don't know I think he was an outfielder. I don't think he was a pitcher.
He was a pitcher in college.
He was a pitcher in college?
Yeah.
Okay. So, whatever. So, he had that choice, and we've seen others, Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders. Let me ask you the big $1 million question. Hunter, which sport is it going to be, football or baseball?
He's going to have to decide, but the longer that he plays two sports, the better he becomes at both sports. So he'll figure it out.
Well, I wish him well. I know it is a very big challenge to even get drafted into a minor league team, but it looks like that's going to happen, Josh. You must be very, very proud of him.
Yeah, he's going to keep going. He loves it, and as long as he loves it, he's going to keep going.
Awesome. All right, so the holiday season, how do people get in contact with you at any given time? I mean, how to reach out? I mean, obviously, we're on social media. We're on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're putting this on Facebook.
We're on TikTok now, too.
And TikTok as well. So that's good. TikTok. Oh, no.
I have that song stuck in my head as well. So here's the key. The key is if you want an opportunity, even if you're watching this and it's past the holiday season, if you want the opportunity to be able to feel the way you think you deserve to feel, that you should feel, the way that you can kind of have a breath of fresh air and relax, there's many ways to get there. We talked a little bit about finding somebody else that has that and being able to do what they do. the fact of the matter is, you too deserve to be relaxed and have a great Thanksgiving. I know it's extra.
Instead of
what was
having,
that one that they
instead of
had?
having a Muslim guy or some Russian guy, get Conor McGregor. He's a fucking villain, right there.
Reminded of how things were when you were younger and how you emotionally reacted to it when you weren't mature enough to really know what was going on.
Right.
So you can contact us on all the platforms. The easiest way to get a hold of me, and this will be get a hold of me directly, is calling, and that would be 315-432-1514 or 816-357-8778. And we can call and talk, and you can call and you can talk, and we'll talk about how if it's appropriate for you to have a free screening, and we can really lay everything out on the table and see what you really want to do. So there's no pressure.
And you're getting calls, which is great, which is awesome, from all over the country. And you're in Kansas City, you're here in obviously central New York and northern New York. Cameron is your mentor right now, where he's now operating.
He's my mentorship student, right?
Mentorship student. So I don't know the whole hierarchy of things.
That's
but,
okay.
He's a good kid, and he's enjoying himself.
He's getting results, great results here.
That's awesome.
People have rave reviews about Cameron here in North Country Hypnosis.
That's great.
In Watertown.
That's awesome.
So remember, we can reach you wherever you are because we also work remotely and by Zoom and by telephone. So
wow.
If you see this and you're truly ready to change, as we've had some people come off of Instagram lately and quit smoking with us.
Really?
You can contact us by direct message in any form, any email, or not any email. You can email us anytime, and you deserve to feel the way you want to feel. You have to know, even in this season of selflessness, where you're thinking about other people and how other people are reacting, you too can respond the way that you want to. Even now in December, when it's the holiday season, you too deserve to feel good. So take advantage of this.
You do.
And you can use hypnosis and NLP, and you can talk to us about wanting to learn more and adding more to your life by coming to one of our super successful seminars and very popular seminars.
Right. When's the date in Kansas City? You got that date yet? I'm sure you do.
It is. It's April 22nd through the 25th.
April 22nd through the 23 days.
4 days.
4 days, excuse me.
Friday through Monday. And it's going to be at the Lowe's Hotel.
Lowe's.
Which is the nicest hotel I've ever been in.
Oh, really? In Kansas City, known for more fountains in Kansas City than any other American city, including New York.
Fountains, it's true.
Wait, is it so hot out there, or is it they just stole it from France?
They like.
I guess so. I've never been to Kansas City.
It's beautiful.
And this was the Get Real podcast.
Get Real.
And any final comments from Josh Kirnie?
We hope to speak to you again before the holidays, but if this is the last broadcast you see before your holiday season, and we're in the middle of Hanukkah.
Yeah, so we should do at least one more before the holidays. Come on.
Yeah, let's do it.
2nd of December. We do at least 2 a month.
So happy Hanukkah. We're in the 5th day of Hanukkah today.
That's right. There's a menorah right there.
That's how I know it's the 5th day. Yeah. Because I am not a Jewish man, but that's okay.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I do love Christmas.
That's right. This was the Get Real podcast on December 2nd, 2021. And we'll be back with more here at the Get Real podcast from the top of Public Square here in beautiful Watertown. I'm Glenn Curry for Josh Kearney. You have a good day.